both of them asked me, would you like to teach it? You're a facilitator. Can you teach us this? I said, okay, all right. So that was like the invitation from them, because I really did not feel confident about anything about it. I had a point of view that I had to be perfect about it, or it has to be right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And then finally, when we gave the class, which I co-facilitated with my husband, the first class. Our first class in Lebanon was in 2014. Access consciousness is the only one that so far that I have been very, very consistent, because I apply it and I practice it in my life. I really practice in my life.
Yeah, I realized that for myself too. You know, I already have ADHD and I get bored so quickly. I've been also in different modalities for 12 years. I didn't just learn them. I applied them so pragmatically in my life and saw the change in my body, in my business, in everything, that I keep wondering what else. As I said, you changed the game in Middle East.
Yes.
Wow, it's so inspiring. Thank you for sharing that.
In 2016, yeah, it was, I mean, it was great. It was really great. Never give up, never give up, never give in, never quit.
Thank you. So you are the example of that, as being the only ones, and keep going, especially in Middle East, you know, where there are many people with different point of views.
Yes, and I'm not even Arab. I'm not even Arab. Yeah. I don't even speak Arabic. But and like, you know, people are always gonna complain. People will always have a story about the politics, the situation, the money. You know, I'm like,
yeah, that's the easy way to not to choose. I mean, it's also a choice. You know, complaining is also a choice. So
that's right.
If it is working for them, okay, they can complain.
Complaining is a choice. That would be our next class.
What are you doing really? What's your job?
What exactly?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I keep waking up every day and asking questions and keep on creating. That's my job.
And actually, you are dancing with possibilities. That's what I love about you. Both of them asked me, would you like to teach it? You're a facilitator. Can you teach us this? I said, okay, all right. So that was like the invitation from them, because I really did not feel confident about anything about it. I had a point of view that I had to be perfect about it, or it has to be right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, when we gave the class, which I co-facilitated with my husband, the first class. Our first class in Lebanon was in 2014, and we had 10 students.
Wow.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the first class was actually easy. I was like, oh my God, I didn't think it could be so easy to facilitate a bars class, you know? And from then on, like, we started giving the classes on every month, you know, people, because it was new and people were doing, and I started creating a group for practitioners so we could practice all together. You know, I'm not the kind of facilitator that would just leave people there. Actually, I would like for us to practice together all the time, you know, and so we started doing that, and I became more and more interested and really inspired by Access Consciousness and all the tools and all the specialty classes. I really liked Right Voice for You at that time. I discovered it, Talk to the Entities, all of that. I started taking all these classes online and in person. And then there was an invitation in 2015 to become CF. So it was within 6 months of becoming bars facilitator, I just chose to become a CF. And it was magic. It was fast. I did all whatever was required to become one. And my first CF training was in Venice in 2015. And then since then, I have been a certified CF, you know, and I love the tools of Access. I live it. I live the tools of Access. It's not something that, and it's of all the things that I guess I studied or learned, modality-wise, technique-wise, school of thought. Access consciousness is the only one that so far that I have been very, very consistent because I apply it and I practice it in my life. I really practice in my life.
Yeah, I realized that for myself too. You know, I already have ADHD and I get bored so quickly. I've been also in different modalities for 12 years. I didn't just learn them. I applied them so pragmatically in my life and saw the, you know, the change in my body, in my business, in everything, that I keep wondering what else now? What else now? So it's so inviting to discover and to know more.
It's really a fun work, like a body of work. It's like the like you said, it's pragmatic, not only energetic, it's highly energetic. And it's also pragmatic. It's very practical, it's easy, and it's also fun. And it's really empowering, and it's non-judgmental. You know, like you're really being you when you are doing and using all the tools of action, because there's no right or wrong way to be yourself. And that's what I love about the invitation of Access Consciousness. And I'm so grateful for Access and for Gary and Dane for this. And actually everything that I've created in my life until now is because of the tools of Access Consciousness. And I just really, really enjoy living the tools, being the tools, and facilitating and helping the people. So and then since the first time I became a CF here, I did not even know what was being created when I created a Facebook group called Lebanon and the Middle East. Access Consciousness in the Lebanon and the Middle East. I created that in 2015, this Facebook group. You're probably in it.
Yes, I am.
And I had no idea who is doing it in the Middle East. No one was doing it in the Middle East when I was a CF, because I introduced myself to Gary and Dane. I said, I'm from Lebanon. I live in Lebanon. I'm a Canadian living in Lebanon. I'm not Lebanese, but and they're like, wow. You know, like they never heard not that anybody from the Middle East is a CF. So actually when I met them and I said that I'm from, you know, and they're like, and it was like, actually, Gary kind of cried because it's like, oh my God, we're reaching the Middle East. You know, he went like this. You know, in 2015, it was something new. So I was like, oh wow, it's really. I was looking for every country in the Middle East who could be a facilitator as well. No one at that time yet. And of course, after that, many years later, now there's many facilitators in the Middle East, in the Gulf region. And I remember the first Access Bars, actually, not only in Lebanon, the first Access Bars class in Jordan was taught by me, 2016, in Jordan. And guess what? It's a beautiful story about it. It was a woman who hosted me there. She was a bars practitioner. She had studied it somewhere abroad. She was only a bars practitioner, and she hosted me to have so she could practice with people in Jordan. And she was also my translator at that time. And I remember when she hosted me, and we actually created a big class. We had 17 people in Jordan, including men, about 7 men. Yes, and they're all coaches. Because and coaches and mothers and some kids, some students. So it was like a combination. And the bars video at that time was in a DVD format. You cannot.
There used to be some format like that too. Yeah,
it was DVD format in 2016. Okay, you know, they had to send it to you. You don't use it. You don't go to the link and like download the video. It was a DVD format, but it was only in English. Okay, I have Arabic speakers. So what did my translator do? She dubbed the video overnight. She put a caption, like a subtitle. I don't know what app they use, but they worked overnight. She and our host in the center, and so from then on, actually my translator, she's the first Arabic translator because I recommended her to Access. Her name was Noura Abu Khalil. She translated along with my sister-in-law, Muna Musi. They translated the first bars manual in Arabic and the first foundation manual in Arabic.
As I said, you changed the game in Middle East.
Yes.
Wow, it's so inspiring.
In
Thank you for
20,
sharing that.
in 2016. Yeah, it was, I mean, it was great. It was really great. And yeah, so since then I've been creating here. For a long, long time, actually, me and my husband and my sister, Muna Musi, we were the only ones doing access consciousness in Lebanon. We had a center and we were teaching access. We hosted my teacher here, my first teacher, Dr. Casey Crisp. I don't know if you heard of her.
Yes.
Have you heard? Yes, she's my
Yes.
teacher. She's the teacher who invited me to become a facilitator. So I'm really grateful to her for seeing the potential in me and my husband to become facilitators in Lebanon. So we invited her to Lebanon to teach foundation, 3-day body class, and all these classes in Lebanon in our center back then. And of course, over the years, you know, I've taught many people, bars, etc., etc. Some people choose to come and go, you know, becoming a bars facilitator, and then they will, you know, choose something else. So and then again for a long time I was the only one facilitating bars and being the CF. Recently,
and it's great. Sorry, I will gonna interrupt, but it's great. You know, in Access, there is a saying that don't quit, don't give up, and I don't remember this.
Yes,
never give up, never give. Yeah,
never give up, never give in, never quit.
Thank you. So you are the example of that, as being the only ones and keep going, especially in Middle East, you know, where there are many people with different point of views.
Yes, and I'm not even Arab. I'm not even Arab.
Yeah.
I don't even speak Arabic. I only facilitate in English. That's the funny thing. And how does it get any better than that?
Yeah.
And now I'm so glad, actually. I think since the lockdown, you know, many people could take classes online, and so many people become facilitators. But now we have a growing number of bars facilitators in Lebanon. I think they're becoming 10, like in the last year, and one new CF. So, you know, there's now 2 CFs from Lebanon, me and the new lady, Marina Hakim, actually. So, yeah, and then of course in the last few years, I've chosen to specialize in talk the entities and right voice for you, which is my favorite this year. Is I'm focusing on the right voice for you classes. And also the 3-day body class, which I became last year, which is a big accomplishment, really, to become a 3-day body class. It takes a long process. And
I know.
And so I was able to create that too in this country, despite of the situation of this country during lockdown. We had so many things in our country.
I know. And you kept out creating, you know, and I'm wondering which are the tools that contributed you to keep on going besides all the things that you are in?
Yeah, I just kept asking, what would it take to outcreate this? Really, this question, what would it take to outcreate this reality? And I never bought into the reality of this reality. I never bought into that, you know, the drama and trauma of this reality, because I know that there's something greater. There's really something greater if we choose it. We can choose to outcreate. We can choose to create our own reality and not be part of everybody's. They've also chosen this reality, by the way, whatever they are, right?
Yeah.
So whether they believe it or not, or conscious of it or not, you know, they do create that reality. So we can create also our own reality, which is, for me, I've always wanted to see something greater, and always see something or create something greater than what was already being created. I always actually try to see the goodness in people, but of course that's an interesting point of view, you know. As you know, in Access Consciousness, we learn also that, you know, if you don't see the people for who they are, then you're always going to be like living in an illusion that
illusion.
Like everybody's always going to be good. So, you know, no, that's not true. But so it's like, be willing to just to see people for who they are, right? So one of the elements of intimacy is just like, okay, so I having known that, and like the question I always ask is like, what else is possible? What are the infinite possibilities that I haven't considered here? These are very basic access questions.
Yes, the
Really.
basic ones is also amazing. People usually go into mind and they are looking for long and complex processes. But
I know.
the basic ones, as we have in Bar's manual,
yes,
are also great and create a lot.
That for me was like, and actually I always believe that like even actually like the never give and never give up, never quit. This without being like thinking consciously about it. I knew I was being that, during the crisis here that we were having. We had a gasoline crisis, electricity crisis, with the port blast explosion, with the financial crisis, the devaluation of the Lebanese pound. I was charging very low amounts of in classes, imagine, because of the money, but I was just doing it. I was just, okay, what? And because I was also happy. For me, like, I know that if I am happy doing it, everything else, like money-wise, will come to me. Like, I know that that money follows joy.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm really, really enjoying what I'm doing, which I was doing it despite of the situation, we were doing classes with no electricity, with like long line up for gasoline, and people were late for my classes, but we kept doing it. And I admire the people also for the participants for choosing the classes that I was giving. So I don't know. And actually, I think maybe I talked about that in at great length. And Simone asked me to for a podcast. I talk in Simone Milas's podcast about how not to stop creating, really. Like, if we don't, well, let's not buy into the drama and trauma. There's so many of that already.
Yes. I know. I'm in Turkey,
Oh, I know, in Turkey, for sure.
It's so familiar. It's so familiar. The trauma and the drama with everything that we are living at the moment in this reality, in this Turkish reality.
in the Turkish reality, in the Lebanese reality, in all these realities, the financial and all this, the techie reality that's creating all of that. So, but and like, you always people are always gonna complain. People will always have a story about the politics, the situation, the money. I'm like.
Yeah, that's the easy way to not to choose. I mean, it's also a choice, complaining is also a choice. So
that's right.
If it is working for them, okay, they can complain.
Complaining is a choice. That would be our next class. How can you the right complain for you?
I love that. Yeah, but they can teach us that, as we don't complain anymore.
We'll invite experts. We'll invite complaining experts.
Yes, to remember the old days.
Oh my God, the old days. Oh yeah, back in the day, we used to do that, and we're still gonna do that.
Yeah.
We cannot change it anymore. Okay, we've been doing it for many years, for many generations, and this is how it's always been done. Eileen, don't change it.
Yeah, let's don't be different,
How dare you?
Let's keep being normal.
Yes. Why do you have to be different? Why do you have to stand out? What are you trying to prove?
Yeah, it's so boring to be different. Let's be serious and normal and keep choosing the same bullshits.
Oh my God, I sound like my mother there. My mother, I love my mother. Okay, I'm so used to my mother's points of views by now, but I should actually make a, I don't know, a meme of whatever my mom is telling me. Why do you travel so much? What do you do exactly? I don't understand. What are you doing in your life?
Yeah. I still have friends asking me, what are you doing really? What's your job?
What exactly?
I have no idea. I keep waking up every day and asking questions and keep on creating. That's my job.
And actually, you are dancing with possibilities. That's what I love about you. Literally and energetically, and and figuratively.
Yes.
Dancing with possibilities.
Yeah, I love to create this movement with possibilities, you know, and inviting people to move with your body in their life. You know, we are so living in our head, just thinking and trying to figure it out or trying to find the answer.
Yeah. And actually, our bodies are more smart than our minds.
Yes, definitely. So as a 3-day body class facilitator, how is for you to work with bodies? I mean, it's so amazing. You know, it's rather than working with minds or cognitively.
Yeah.
Working with bodies is total different.
I love it because really, you know, the more I facilitate these classes, the more that I realize how energetic we are, how energetic we are energetic beings with bodies. The bodies actually are kind of like the vessel, you know, the conduit of energies, not our minds. In a 3-day body class, when everybody's just lying down and we're doing all these body processes, which are different body processes, you know, that we do on bodies, and it actually facilitates questions, facilitates all kinds of triggers in people's lives and minds, in their minds. Actually, their mind, you know, go out of the door, and like it's just the body that's asking for, and the consciousness of the body, which is actually your consciousness of your being, that gets the whole, what if we call it change, you know, the change, the transformation that people are asking for. And everybody is a healer. We all have a healing capacity with our bodies. And so in a 3-day body class, everybody discovers that. Everybody, they're like, oh, wow, you know, like that easy? Like, yes, because we all have that capacity. We all have our capacity. Nobody is like gifted. Okay, that God sent, you're the only one who can do this. No, actually, we all are, right? If we lower our barriers, And the invitation of a 3-day body class is like completely lower your barriers, meaning your thinking, your thought, your projections, your conclusions, and all what you've decided is the right diet, the right body, the right exercise. Oh my God, the ways that we punish our bodies. Many ways of the many ways that we punish our bodies with what's supposed to be right. What's supposed to be right. We let go of that in a body class because we don't, the mind goes, bye-bye, and you just lie down and relax. And I love it. And the questions that are being asked in these classes are questions that it's like they're breakthrough questions. Like participants receive a breakthrough, you know, of course, with the facilitation, with the body process that's happening, and the facilitation that's taking place in the classes. It's creating like a change that they don't expect, you know, like you know that you have experienced 3-day body class yourself. You've been to many, and you've translated many of, which is also like you become like the facilitator of a 3-day body class.
Yeah, they were amazing. Yeah, and also the receiving in those classes, you know, it's totally different to receive a body processes. It changed. I mean, as my point of view, it's it contributes people to discover what is really receiving. You know, we usually receive as a definition. You know, someone gives. Like give and take.
Yes.
But
give
receiving,
and take.
Yeah, in a body class, it totally changed to really literally receiving in every way, through your body and through the energy. It's so amazing, these 3-day body classes.
And the 3-day body classes, we tap into the energy of the earth. Like we include the earth in this class because we are the earth. We are part of the earth. So how can we not acknowledge the earth also in a 3-day body class? And that's what I love about it. Because without the mind, it's just your body and the earth. What is possible there? So that's, you know, I really like this class. I didn't realize that I would love it so much, the 3-day body class. And it creates so much for me. And you know what? My husband loves my 3-day body class. He has attended 2 of my classes.
Wow.
One in Istanbul last year and one in Oman. He came with me to Oman. He came to Istanbul.
Great. And you will have another class, right? In Italy in August.
Yes, I do. A 3-day body class in Pinarello di Cervia, and also one in Calgary, Canada in September.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, that's what's
Yeah.
happening for 3-day body class. And also the Right Voice for You, I have one in Beirut, Lebanon. 1 day Right Voice for You in Beirut on August 19 as well.